Today on the Auburn Torch, what's next for Auburn soccer after Wednesday's tie with Clemson? Well, let's take a look at it. Tell me if this is a good idea or not, if you've used this before or not, but my phone has these dead pixels on it. And these like three purple lines. Look at that. These three purple lines. Oh my gosh. And it used to just be one, and then another one popped up. And then I was like, I need to look up a solution to a new phone. And then the third one popped up. And now, like, I think it makes me sick to look at. Like, it's so bright. Like, it's perfectly bright no matter what you do. Purple lines. Anyway, but I ordered a new one because I went to Verizon. And I'm like, yeah, like I got this Pixel a little while ago. Like, when am I due for an upgrade? I don't think that's the language anymore, but I'm like, yeah, when can I get another? Am I due for one? And they're like, not on your life, brother. You've got until November 2027. I'm like, okay, great, because I'm an Android guy. I usually do. This is a tangent. I'm an Android guy, and I usually do Samsung. And but the last time, I did the big fold, and I liked it, but it, expensive, it was a premium thing. And then the last time I walked into Verizon, and they're like, hey, Google will just give you a Pixel. And all the flagships are so samey now. I hate it. But anyway, got the Pixel, and 1 year warranty. And then obviously 366 days after you walk out of the store with it, it starts to fall apart. But anyway, so I gotta bridge the gap to November 20th of next year. So I went on Back Market, and I'm getting a used phone, which is probably not a good idea, but I'm like, I want a Samsung again. Let me just get a Samsung. I don't feel like dropping a bag for $1,000 phone when I could just wait. And so anyway, I got like an S22, which is from 4 years ago. But the thing about it is you get it for cheap, but it says 30-day returns, no questions asked. So like, if I get it and the battery life sucks, I can just return it. Or like, if there's like, there will be nicks and knocks on it because it's only fair condition at the price I wanted, right? And if it will have little nicks on it. So if there's a crack I really hate, I can just send it back. But if I'm okay with it, I can keep it, right? And then for a year it has a warranty. So I'm like, okay, that warranty will get me to the next time I can go to walk in the Verizon store and get another phone. Anyway, all to say, have not enjoyed the Pixel very much. It saves stuff in weird places. I don't know. And then you go down the rabbit hole and you're like, I just want this, like, I want one of these like e-ink dumb phones, but I can't do that for work. So that sucks. Maybe one day I'll have a phone and a camera that are separate, like the old days. Anyway, it's Friday, August 14th. Welcome to Torch Talk, where we talk about smartphones. Anyway, if anyone's used Back Market before, tell me if this is a terrible idea or not. But the warranties and the return policies, maybe I was like, okay, let's bridge the gap. All I gotta do is kneel out the clock for 14 months or whatever, and I can get a Samsung again because I want a Samsung, but I don't want to pay for a new one right now. Anyway, that's that. Wednesday night, Auburn soccer. We'll spin this ahead and just kind of talk about what's next for Auburn soccer. But first, curious, just want to look back at the box score. Please go to auburntorch.com. Here's right here, insights and takeaways from we're talking with James Armstrong. We talked with defender Holly Engelking about the performance. It was a 0-0 draw on Wednesday night. But you saw good things, and that's a nationally ranked Clemson team. And, your hope is, if you're an Auburn fan, that Clemson goes on to be a great team, and you played a great team and you played great, right? I did want to look at the stats a little bit closer if you're not signed up and not behind the paywall to check them out in the article. It really was really evenly matched. It was a really even really on all accounts, right? So I would say Clemson probably settled in more in the second half, watching it from the stands. But yeah, 0-0. Look, fouls 10-10, absolutely tied, right? Shots total, Auburn had 8, Clemson had 6. Shots on goal, Auburn had 4, Clemson had 2. And then corner kicks, this is where Clemson was kind of finding its footing in that second half. I think Auburn came out, if you didn't watch the game, had a really good scoring opportunity early, had another couple scoring opportunities, but what really came out, that's the way you want to come out to start the season, right? Without nervous jitters or settle into it or whatever. Ultimately, I would say Auburn controlled things a little bit more in the first half, and I would say Clemson controlled things a little bit more in the second half, but nothing crazy. But the exemplification here is, if that's a word, second half. Clemson had 6 corner kicks to Auburn's 4, and 5 of those corners came in the second half. For Clemson, all these stats that they have, the possession, which the scorekeeper was keeping, pretty even, 56 to 44%. Just a evenly matched, 0-0 game. Like those happen, right? Those happen. But a shutout for your goalkeeper. That was a Yana Yapo getting the start there. I guess we can take a look. At that's TW is what I meant to type. We can take a look at the best opportunity, which and James Armstrong said after the match, he was like, and I think it was a good game, close game, and I think we had the best opportunity to score, and but we didn't get it, and that happens in soccer. I would agree with him. I think this was the best opportunity to score in the game. I think Clemson had one pretty good run at Yapo, and Yapo, to her credit, pressured, rushed not the defender, the offender, the attacker, rushed, filled the gap between them, and she ended up having to kick it over Yapo, and in doing that, kicked it all the way over the goalpost, right? But here is Auburn's highlight of the match. This is Kennedy Husbands. You guys got to circle. You guys got to take a look at number 19 when you get out there. She was really creating. Kennedy Husbands, she's signed with Armstrong at Mississippi State. I think she stuck around, if I'm not getting this wrong, she stuck around at Mississippi State for one more year after Armstrong left, but then jumped on board and came over. Husbands, she's a winger, but she's really a creator. She's really, from what I've seen of this team, she's a real catalyst. So when 19's got the ball, right, pay attention. And here she is. Here you get her in space. And then here's her cross in all the way across the goal to the far post, to Dylan Driver, who's 5'11", tall, got a head on it, and off balance. Just the keeper made a good save, right? For Auburn, that's tough, but that's and Auburn couldn't quite. Auburn did have a couple more chances. There was Kennedy had some more crosses in, and then late in the second half, a play that really interested me. I don't have a highlight of it or a replay of it, but it looked like Kennedy had the ball in space, much like this, and Clemson kind of stayed off. It looked like to me in real time, no replay at all, right? It looked like Clemson kind of cowered back from her because of the crosses in. They were preparing for that, so she's like, all right, I'm just going to keep it, shake and bake one defender, and got up to goal to get a good shot, and that was one of those 4 shots on goals that Clemson had to save. But anyway, all in all, again, like I said, not the worst result, right? Certainly not the worst performance, and not the worst results, right? You win, you lose, or you tie, and this one was a tie. So Auburn is 0-0-1 officially here in the regular season, and on Sunday, as you listen. So what's next? Sunday, Auburn will be hosting Jack State. It'll be in the evening again, 6:30. Jack State just tied West Georgia 1-1. I just looked at that briefly, and West Georgia took the lead, and Jack State scored another goal to tie it 1-1. So now Jack State goes from University of West Georgia to West Georgia, Paul. Auburn University. So it's a 3-game home stretch for Auburn. It'll be Clemson, Jack State, and then Southern Illinois on Thursday. I'll be there on Sunday. We'll be seeing you if you're there. Flag me down, say hello. They have this is huge news. The biggest news I could possibly report is that Auburn Soccer Complex has a new cooler policy where you can bring in a personal cooler. So as long as no one gets nuts, I imagine that's allowed. So I didn't know that. So I will be getting a lunchbox with some ice and some Gatorade, and that'll be going in my book bag for the next game. So I'll be very curious. This next stretch here, it's pretty much, Clemson was the SEC caliber opponent, right? Like, so for the rest of non-conference until SEC play, it's Southern Illinois and then a lot of local teams. So if you're listening on audio, here's a schedule from here to SEC play: versus Jack State, versus Southern Illinois, at Kennesaw State, versus Georgia State, at UAB, at Samford, versus Alabama. So, obviously, I think UAB and Samford can play soccer. Samford really does play soccer. They've been to the NCAA tournament. That's a high quality opponent. And I imagine UAB will too. I mean, think about, I haven't looked at these rosters, but think about, the affluent kids in Birmingham, girls playing soccer, right? That fills out those rosters. That adds depth pretty easily to those rosters, right? So typically speaking, I haven't looked at those. Anyway, so that'll be tough. But until then, it's a little bit of a stretch where you're doing the what did I see on what's his name? Trent Dilfer saw it on Twitter. You're doing the us versus us, right? You're doing us versus us, and just evaluating yourself and and maybe even trying different things still, and letting position battles continue a little bit longer. Let them linger a little bit longer. Just be curious to see what James is looking for, what he sees, all those kind of things. And then obviously you got one focus going into Sunday, and that's to score a goal. You do not want to go through game 2 or into game 3 still scoreless, right? You don't want a what year was that? You don't want a Reggie Ball year. Was that that would have been 08, right? Was that 08? No, 2003. I'm sorry, 2003. That'd be 2003, right? Where Auburn football starts the season and doesn't have a touchdown for like 3 games. That would have been 03, right? Am I crazy? Let's see. Reggie Ball, Georgia Tech. When did he play? Yeah, that would have been around then. Undrafted in the 2007 NFL draft. Yeah, I would think so. I would think so. Yeah, that would have been 03. That would have been before the Borges, the Owl Renaissance, the Borgesance. Anyway, all right, let me get out of here. That's 13 minutes, most of it about a cell phone. Hey, man, soccer on Sunday. Also, Auburn volleyball will be doing an intra-squad scrimmage on Sunday. That'll be open to the public. That'll be in Neville Arena. And then on Thursday, they'll be doing an exhibition with Georgia Tech. So volleyball's inching closer, a little bit closer. Going to be another couple of weeks from right now as you listen until that season starts. But a little bit more going on with them next week. So, all right, let me get out of here. Sunday. More Auburn soccer. We'll see if they can get the ball in the net. And otherwise, just see how they perform. Until then, check out auburntorch.com if you haven't yet. Check out all of the preseason stuff we did, plus check out the takeaways and insights to hear from Armstrong and a player from Wednesday night. Until Sunday and until next time, take care.